Hi there, fellow Flickers. My name is Mike, and I'm coming to you from Northern California.
And I'm Jen, coming to you from in front of the pile of Tupperware.
Nice. So, speaking of Tupperware, how's Tupperware going? Are you still enjoying selling the Tupperware?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been busy. We had a little break, and so I queued up quite a few things to post while we were away
A
and
break.
making
So you
that.
mean that we put it on vacation mode for a while?
We did for a couple of days, and as of today, I have 4 packages to mail out on Monday. Maybe there'll be some more overnight.
I seem to remember a time when you said, "I can't wait until I can have 5 packages to ship out in one day."
I love it when I have like 4 or 5. It makes me happy.
That's great. I love that we're getting there. I love that you're starting to sell more. All right, as long as you're still enjoying it, because as soon as you stop enjoying it, we have to stop doing this reselling because that we don't want it to be unenjoyable anymore.
No, and all 4 are Tupperware orders so far. So that's
All
exciting.
for it. But you had one go out yesterday. That was something else that we're going to talk about one of my sales that I had.
Oh, I have that on my list as well, but maybe for a different reason than you.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
kind of figured
for
that
sure.
I would talk about my sales and you can talk about your sales. That might be a
How
good
is
idea
it
now.
yours? How is it your sale?
I bought it, you listed it, and it sold. And I agreed to take the offer. I would consider that myself.
Okay. All
But anyway, we have a follow up from Artskin. He left us a comment on YouTube again, and he's an experienced reseller, and he's been giving us some really good advice. So he's been selling for a while. So I take what he has to say to heart. I haven't done some research on some of the things that he suggested, but being a seasoned reseller, I take his advice on this one. And one of them is that he recommends leaving off the exclamation point. And I kind of agree with them because it always drives me nuts when I see everybody saying, "Oh, sale, sale, woo, woo, woo." Like all this stuff just drives me crazy. I know it's clickbaity, but you spent some time recently on a work trip with me and you went
right.
through
Yeah,
some of our listings. Tell
quite a
us about
few.
what that was about.
Well, when you gave me the feedback, I thought, it couldn't hurt to try. It certainly is an easy task. It's just monotonous and time consuming. But I did feel like there was a possibility that it could be helpful. I was actually a fan of the way it looked visually. I had new or NOS, new old stock on the end
Mhm.
of a lot of our postings with the exclamation point at the end. And I have reconfigured quite a few of our postings based on his or her advice. We removed the exclamation point and then I added NOS, new old stock, to quite a few of them. Replacement of new or in addition to new, depending on what the product itself was. And so time will tell if that will be helpful or not. I haven't noticed any difference yet, but it's only been a couple of sale days. So we'll see.
Right. The only one that he was for sure about was the exclamation point, so that eBay actually says that that it hurts the search results. The other ones was just in his own opinion that leaving off either the new, because that could be misleading. You're thinking that's something that we have new, brand new Tupperware, which we do have brand new old stock Tupperware. It's not new
Mhm.
molded Tupperware. So that was just in his own opinion, but I do trust seasoned resellers, and he's been reselling for a long time. So thanks, Artkin, for that advice, and we always appreciate the feedback. So if you guys ever hear anything that we're saying that you want to give us advice on or challenge, we're always up for a challenge. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. If you're watching on YouTube and on the audio podcast, you can always email us at the Pickers Podcast, or it's kind of blowing up over there on Instagram, so you can jump over there and leave us a comment and get a couple messages over there too. All right, moving on from that with some sales updates. So I guess you had the Cabela's quick release first, or up there also. So why don't you go ahead with your number one?
Sure. The two that I picked for this week to share were maybe for a different reason than you, and is honestly just because I'm excited to be done with them. The sale, one of
With
the sales
you,
that we made.
If you have the Superman cup on there too, we need to start.
No, that could be yours.
All right, go ahead.
The reason I picked both of the ones that I did was because I'm happy that they're sold, they're done, they're shipped, they're out of here. Both of these have been a little bit of a thorn on my side, not too big of a thorn, but you know, those little inconveniences. We had a Cabela's archery swivel quick release in a camo pattern that we had received numerous offers on, and quite frankly, a lot of them were very low ball offers. I couldn't find the exact same item, but I found lots of similar items for sale on eBay, and I had picked a price point of about $40, thinking we would get an offer that would be within a few dollars of that. And we received a lot of really low ball offers, which, you know, I countered back or I declined outright because they were just like insultingly low. But I finally went back and forth, like multiple times with this one particular buyer, and we settled up on 50% off. So I took a deal for $20 on it. It was an item that we paid $5 for, which is a little more than what we normally pay for an item. And so after all the shipping and such, you know, was taken out, we made $17.43 of profit. So lots of back and forth on that one. And so I'm glad it's done.
Right. So can you explain to the audience what a Cabela's quick release archery is?
No, not really. You should flash a little picture of it. This was an item you picked in an estate sale. I've struggled to list some of the more male-specific items that I have absolutely no idea what they are, what they're for, which is why Tupperware is going so well for me.
Yeah, no, Jen, fair enough. And so an archery quick release, it is something that goes onto a bow and arrow set. So typically a compound bow. They're really hard to pull back. And so instead of pulling back with the fingers, they have this little clip that clips around the string. And then you draw back, and as you pull sort of a trigger, it releases, it opens two little jaws. So it kind of saves your fingers because those compound bows are pretty tight, or they have a lot of tension on them. But when you're telling me that you're having a hard time finding these, it's pretty easy to go on Cabela's website and look for a quick release that they have. And so it's Cabela's brand name. You were priced very fairly. And, you know, when you can't, I know we got a couple of lowball offers, but I know this is one of the things that I always look out for at estate sales and garage sales is hunting and fishing stuff. Because I have experience with it and it goes so well. And if I get it for the right price, and at this estate sale, we went to the half price day. So we got it for half price. So it was even cheaper than what they're listing it for. They're asking for it. So $20 on a $5 item is pretty darn good. I'll take those all day long, to be honest.
It just wasn't an item that we got rich on by any stretch. But we have done really well on that kind of category of product in general. And so I just chalk it up to like, so nobody really just must have wanted this particular item, or just wasn't popular, or this isn't it's been listed for a while. And so let's move it out of our inventory and kind of out with the old in with the new.
Cabela's is kind of like the Kirkland brand of hunting and fishing. Anyways, it's their own brand name stuff. So, all right, sounds good. The one that I was excited for, and this thing was bought. It was one of my very first purchases when I decided to start reselling. When Carl approached me with this idea about reselling on eBay, and I bought like 3 things at the Cancer Society Goodwill, or the Cancer Society thrift store, and one of them was a Superman mug. So I got pretty excited about it. You know, as a new reseller, I can remember those times seeing things and just thinking that you hit gold. Well, I came across a Superman mug, DC Comics, and I thought I hit gold on this thing. I only paid $1 for it, and it sat. You know we've been doing this for over a year now, and this thing has sat in the inventory for a year. But
it did have a little chip on it.
It had a chip, but it was really cool. It was actually a really cool mug. I liked it a lot. And it sold for $7.99 plus shipping. We only paid $1 for it. So, we made $6.99, $7 on the deal. So $5 here, $5 there, and especially to empty out old inventory and not just throw it away or send it off to the Goodwill.
Some other seasoned retailers that we're friends with, they avoid mugs altogether, and we have quite a few mugs for sale still. They just think that the risk of them breaking and the weight of them makes them just an impractical resale item, even if you're picking them up for 50 cents or $1. We don't really mind making money in lower increments. It's fine. It's not like a get rich quick scheme mugs, right. But I am glad that one's just moved out of the inventory because they had a little chip on it. Wasn't perfect. The graphics were a little imperfect. So I'm glad I found a new home.
Graphics were a little imperfect. That's Jen's polite way of saying it was well loved at one point.
It was well loved. Yeah. The other item that I'm just really excited to be done with. We have quite a few really good quality boxes for items that are for sale that we've either purchased or friends have just given us the box for laptops or iPads. We've found that we actually do really well reselling what is essentially for other people garbage, trash. I'm not exactly sure what people are doing with these boxes. I kind of pray that it's nothing like too underhanded or nefarious when we're selling these, but it is fair to sell them as long as you mark them empty box only and you're showing pictures. You make it crystal clear that it's the empty box. However, this particular box went with my new iPhone 14. It was a Silver Pro one, and before we had somebody buy it and not pay, and so it's waiting for payment. And I reached out, and communicated for a week on, like several times over the course of the week to try and get any kind of communication about whether we could receive payment. And
the good old non-payment. We love that.
We've only had a few of those, and it's just discouraging. It's frustrating that it would take so much time for such a low profit sale item. Anyhow, normally we like those to be just like real quick in and out the door, and it was just a couple dollars, but we finally sold it, and they paid right away, which was very encouraging. We made a whopping $3.70, but when I'm listing these boxes, there are already other boxes out there, and so I estimate this was probably only 15 minutes worth of work, and we are still new. And so we're trying to get good reviews, which we are getting good reviews from people. And so the number of sales that we're pushing through our account, it is helpful to do these little quick ones. And so it's not a hard item to list. It's not a hard item to pack up and put out for pickup. So I'm just glad to be done with that one.
Exactly. I love shipping off, and I'm a little discouraged because we have quite a few of iPhone and iPads and laptop boxes.
Some of them are older, and so maybe that's why this is a newer on the market phone. So maybe that's why this one went well.
Yeah, I'm getting that conception too, is that the newer ones are selling quicker, and I think I'm going to stay away from the older ones from now on and just do the newer ones. But like you said, we got them for free, so keep them up in the store. It's not hurting anything to sell them and see when it gets out there.
It always feels a little weird to sell something we would usually just throw away, though.
Oh, I
we've done it several times. I know, I do too. It's fun.
I love it. I don't throw anything away anymore. Even when we bought our new washer and dryer, we sold the little toolkit that came with it. And it sold fast.
It did, and for like $10, and we would have just normally just. Or it would have languished in a junk drawer for like 10 years.
Yep. The junk drawers. The good old junk drawers. Yeah. All right. So the next one that I have that I was happy to see go cheap because I got really nervous when I picked it up. And you're like, are you sure? Did you look at the comps near this thing? But it was a Gavelia Cafe coffee canister. So it was a cobalt blue coffee canister. And it sat for a long time. And I kind of paid a lot of money for it. It's $3.99 at the Savers down in Santa Rosa. Picked it up. I'd seen that the comps were around $15, so I was kind of confident that we're going to make not quite a bit of money, but make some money off of it. And we ended up selling that one finally, and we made $7.60 off of that sale. So it's still $5-10 sales, but give me 10 of those $10 sales, and that's $100, man. Come on, you can't get past that kind of stuff. And like you're talking about, they're pretty quick flips and quick ships. It's not a real big hard thing that we're spending hours listing and shipping and dealing with. It's pretty easy.
The other thing I was going to say about the Chevalier blue canister, at one point we had sold that item, but the person who purchased it messaged us immediately asking to cancel it. So we at one point thought we had that one sold, and it has kind of been one of those that has lingered weirdly too. So.
All right. So with the sales updates, we kind of wanted to throw that in there because we know that a lot of people really enjoy seeing what has flipped, what people have flipped. So we've kind of kept that first part of the segment in there. All right. So rolling into what the actual topic is for this episode, it is 6 game-changing shipping ideas every reseller must know. And we kind of wanted to focus on some of the learning stuff that we've been learning because we are both new resellers. We're still learning, but I think we have enough experience over the year that we've been reselling that we can give very brand new beginners some shipping ideas. So Jen and I both came up with 3 ideas and we're going to share them with you. It's probably not going to be for the veteran reseller, but there's a couple of things that have changed on the USPS recently, and there's a couple of things that we learned that we never heard before. So let's dive on in. Do you mind if I go with number 1?
Go ahead.
All right. So number 1 for me was, I just learned this recently, and it's shredding old cardboard boxes for packaging material. So we all have gotten those boxes that are either a little too unusable, or they're too large, or it's got a rip, or it's crinkled, or whatever the case is. Well, we saw someone on one of the social media videos that she took a very hardy shredder. So this is going to be important. It can't be just one of your really, one of your $10 shredders. It's got to be a harder shredder. And she would shred the old cardboard boxes and then use that as packing material. So in lieu of like air pillows or whatever else, they can stuff that in there to fill in the holes. And then that's another free way of getting packing material. I thought it was genius when I saw that.
Love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. I don't know how much that particular grade of machine costs. Maybe we'll be able to find one at a thrift store or at a estate sale one of these days, but yep. Do you have a price point in mind on one of those?
No, free, hopefully, if we can find one in the estate sale.
Or very low cost. Yeah. I think that's great. And I think that really feeds into one of my first tips. And that is, I feel like a lot of new resellers feel really pressured to purchase a lot of shipping materials. And quite frankly, it's expensive and it's unnecessary. And it's interesting because we belong to a Facebook group where this was one of the topics of the week. And a lot of people were sounding off with a lot of different opinions about recycling packaging materials. And here at Pickers, we are fans. I feel like, one, it's being a better steward of the planet. There's already enough packing material that exists that you should be able to not have to necessarily every time purchase new. A lot of the times this stuff does not go to recycling centers. It just goes to a landfill where it takes forever to break down. And so I like the stewardship aspect of recycling, but also I'm just like really frugal at heart, and where I don't have to spend money and where I can make money, I like to go that route. And I have found, so that goes to my tip, is ask your inner circle of friends, ask your people, ask the person that you used to work with where you know that they've got a lot of packages, a lot of boxes, a lot of like mylar padded mailers and things. And do not hesitate to turn those inside out or to cover them over with like inexpensive labels that I mean, you would have to buy labels if they have a lot of markings or barcodes and things. There was it's controversial because a lot of people think it looks unprofessional. I disagree. And honestly, we have not received a single negative or even neutral comment about our packaging. In fact, we have received raving reviews about the way that our things are packed up, the way that they're packaged. People say it looks professional, that it's been well done. And so I see no reason currently to change that up. And every time I don't have to spend money on packaging, it's just more money for our bottom line. So
Exactly.
You know, I
Those are great
just
ideas.
ask. People love to be helpful, and if you can make them feel like they really are helping you, then ask for help. Ask for people to do that for you, and then follow through and go and get it when you say that you're going to. Make sure that you are just leaving piles of it at their house. Make sure you go pick it up, so that they'll want to continue to help you. So
Yep, we have a box, and we have the back of our Tahoe is loaded down with boxes that we got from the church, actually.
yeah. They need to be sorted
And
away.
we are.
Boxes down.
Everybody knows that we're resellers. They don't think that we're going to be professional. They don't think that we're Amazon, right? We're selling off at eBay. You're not going to get people that are expecting or that aren't expecting Amazon boxes or any other thing like that. So I don't think that that's bad at all. Plus, we're trying to make money as frugal as we can. We're buying as low as we can and selling for as high as we can. If you're spending a ton of money on packaging on top of all of eBay's fees, oh my gosh, you are never going to make money doing this game. There is something to add on to that, though. I am in the camp of taking the labels off of the box. I do not want that information going out to a customer. So I'm taking that information off. If you're just pulling boxes out of a trash can, I think you're right. To cover up, like put your label over their labels. Yeah. But I don't know if I would go the extra mile. But if you are doing something that's personal to you, or if you're sourcing boxes that's personal to you, I would highly recommend taking all the labels off. It just takes a minute. Pull it off with whatever you got. Pull the label off with. And mark out the stuff, but don't worry about having all that.
I think Amazon boxes are probably my favorite to reuse. Those are and almost everybody gets Amazon orders, and so especially if you are specific, usually I tell people I'll take anything that's in good shape, that's 12 by 12 by 12 or smaller.
So if you're getting more Amazon boxes than if you're getting enough Amazon boxes to ship out your orders, though, I might have to question your spending habits. So.
That's why you have to get them from friends.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. A little caveat there. All right. Good information on the boxing. I love that. I love that we're in alignment on that. Okay. So number 3 would be something that I've been dealing with recently. And it's, I've had 2 very irregular boxes that I have to ship. And what it is, it's a WeBoost cell phone booster. And one of the boxes is 6 feet long. I think it's actually more than 6 feet long, but it's 6 feet by about 6 inches in square. So that's one of the boxes. The second box is a 12 by 12 by 12 by 12 box. And it's like, I tried to figure out how to list this on eBay. And I go to school at YouTube University. So I'm typing in there how to list 2 different size boxes. And I'm getting all kinds of ideas on how to ship and how to sell 2 different boxes. It was everything except for what I needed to know on listing it. So what I did, and if you all have a different idea out there, feel free to share it with me. What I did is I took the 2 sizes and the weight, and I took it to my local UPS store, and I asked them how much it would be to ship this if I was going to ship it to the store. And so they gave me a cost. And what I did was I just took that and I put free shipping on my listing. So I got the cost that I wanted. And I added the amount of free shipping the amount of shipping on there. So that way I knew no matter what I sold the box for, I wouldn't be killed by the shipping. It wouldn't be an unreasonable cost, because the 6 foot long box is an unusual size. And I knew it was going to cost more money than just your standard old Ground Advantage box. So I wanted to be sure that I was doing it. And I think that I figured out how you can put 2 different size boxes in one listing, but I'm not 100% on it. So I don't want to talk about it in this episode and give people the wrong information. So, but I'd love to hear your comments, what kind of advice that you had down in the comments below.
And maybe once it sells, we can follow back up with what we ended up doing, how much it ended up costing to do that specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I saw plenty of things that showed you how to ship 2 different size boxes. Mm-hmm. There wasn't how to list 2 different size boxes, which I thought was really, really weird. Maybe it's just something I'm missing. But anyway, that's something new to think about, new that we're learning, and we'll keep you updated when we ship it out. So if you're looking for a WeBoost RV cell phone booster, go ahead and head over to Pickers Podcast and you can pick it on up for us. All right, what's your number 4, Jen?
Well, it goes along. It's a little opposite of what I've just said. We really do like to save and try to get as much packing material as we can for free. But eventually, you start doing enough business, you're probably going to find that you're needing to purchase some supplies. It feels a little inevitable at a certain point. You can only get so much for free. Now, I like free a lot better, so it's been hard for me to spend some money. But I've noticed, in particular, 4x4x4 boxes, I don't really get a lot of free boxes that come anywhere near that size. And we're getting a lot of free boxes, but they're not that size. And I'm also not getting a lot of free material that's 8x8x8. And I would say that those are the 2 sizes I find myself most frequently in need of personally with the items that we're listing. And I also kind of had the need for some longer length padded mailers. And so knowing this, I've been kind of on the hunt for, of course, the best possible price because I don't like spending money on this type of thing. Because some of our Tupperware items are 12 inches long to 13 inches long, but they're skinny, like they're utensils, they're cooking utensils or
so what
grilling.
What size mailers did you get? What size did you go with?
I think they're 15 inches long, and but you can double them and like tape it so that they're not as wide when you go to mail them. Plus, that just is extra padding, and so I needed something that was long but also skinny for some of these utensils, and so I accidentally discovered that if you need to make an Amazon return anytime soon, and of course this is going to be in the next couple of weeks, but I don't know how long this goes for, so this might date this podcast a little bit, but you can always be on the lookout for deals that are very similar. Right now, if you take your Amazon return to Staples and just get it back to Amazon through them, they will in the store hand you a $10 off $30 purchase coupon. And there's a lot of fine print on it, but it does work on Staples branded packing and mailing supplies. And right now, and probably frequently, those supplies go on sale. I would never go into Staples and pay full price for the packing supplies. You can order them online probably a lot cheaper and have them come right to your door. But if you just happen to need to ship something back to Amazon and they will pay you $10 to do it, I'm the first person to raise my hand and say, I will look for a good deal in the store. And so I found that they have pretty decent size selection of boxes at our local store. But I ended up they had a deal where if you buy 5 or more packages of padded envelopes, then you got a special price. And then I stacked the coupon on top of that. And I think I ended up buying, they're different sizes, but I bought over 50, the ability to mail 50 pieces of things that we would sell. And they were way under 50 cents each. And so really anything under $1, I think feels like price. Good. But 50 cents to 60 cents, I got some different sizes. That is a pretty good, and you're going to have to pay pretty good to stack a coupon on top of the deal. So
those are some specially sized things that you're talking about, though. So I think you're good. And so a couple clarifying points on that. What Jen was talking about was, so you can take Amazon to Kohl's. Amazon returns can go to Kohl's. You can take them back to the UPS store, and then I didn't know that you could take them back to Staples. So that was kind of cool when I saw that email come in, and then they're offering that $10 off. That was pretty cool. What got us really looking into the Staples was we started looking on that Facebook group that they were paying pennies on the dollar for 20 and 30 counts of some of these boxes that were on clearance on the Staples clearance site. And, I don't know how you feel about this, Jim, but that kind of annoyed me that some of those people, they bought like 40 or 50 of those combined pieces. And I'm like, come on, leave some for the rest of us. I mean, you're not going to sell through that much. You're just being greedy at that point. And it just drives me nuts when people are greedy like that. I can understand if you're using them and you're going to sell them, or you're going to go through them within the 6 months, fine. Buy that many for your inventory. But if you're going to sit on those for 2 years, that's just annoying to me. But that's all right. I'll get off my soapbox now. That's a great idea on the staples.
Yeah. So you can just save a little bit of money.
All right. Good stuff. And for my number 5 is when you're combining 2 orders. So obviously we have a lot of Tupperware, and we have a lot of Tupperware sales. And some people have been buying multiple different lots of Tupperware that we have on our store. And what they're asking for is they're asking to combine shipping costs. And I kind of had a little mini heart attack the first time somebody asked us to do that. I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. What do I do? I'm not used to people buying more than one thing off my store. But a couple of ways that we found that we can go around it is, one of the most common ways is to actually have the person buy both the orders, and then you send a refund for the amount that, for the what am I trying to say? Negative amount.
For the difference.
For the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Thank you for the difference. The other way is you can make an invoice. I don't know if this is something about when you have a store that you can make an invoice, or if you can do it off of the free eBay account also. But you make an invoice, and then that combines the shipping. I've never done the invoice, and I haven't played around with it, so I don't know how it works. And then the very last one is, and I hope I'm not just making this up, that I saw this somewhere, but it was, you make a private listing for your buyer. So what Jennifer did on a couple of ours is she took both of the sales and she combined both products, and then got the size and the weight and plugged in the dimensions, and it gave the buyer the good price, or the price for both the items. And then the buyer, she sent the listing to the buyer paid for it instead of just combining the two. But those are some pretty good ideas. You got another way? What's another way?
I have an additional another way. So if someone messages you and they're communicating in advance of buying, which is always preferable, you can edit one of the listings prior to them purchasing it. And then you can edit the second listing, or the third, or the fourth, or however many things that they want to buy, and make it free shipping. And then on the screen where you go to make the label, like once they've paid for one of the things with shipping, you can join the orders. There's a little box and a little place where you can combine the orders on the label making screen. And so I just recently did that for someone. So I just made sure that it was going to be enough shipping to cover the cost of what they were ordering. In this case, they were ordering 2 little books, so there was enough shipping already on the first listing, so that I just switched the second listing to free shipping, told them that it was ready for them to buy it. They bought it, and then I just combined the order on the shipping screen, and they went out under the same tracking number in the same package together.
Oh, that's cool. That is the way to go then. See, I would have been nervous to get, I never would have found that, because I would have been nervous to get all the way to that screen before, the buyer pays. That just would have been nerve-wracking. eBay can make it a lot easier on doing some of this stuff, I'm telling you.
I just saw it, and I decided to be brave and give it a try, and it worked great. So
yeah, it was fantastic.
But that only works if they communicate to you beforehand. And so we have had a person buy 2 things, and they're say like, can you do something about the shipping? Well, at the point that they've already placed their orders and they've already paid, that at that point it's just a refund back. And at that point they've already paid, so it's kind of up to you how much you want to refund back to them. So if you need to cover your costs for your packing material, or if it's a different size box, then you need to be thinking about that before you tell them how much you're going to refund them. But I usually tell people, we can refund you some of it. And, have there had anybody complain yet about getting a little refund? So it's in our examples, it has worked so far. No one has complained or said, oh, that wasn't enough of a refund. And quite honestly, shipping is expensive. And so we try to ethically list our pieces with appropriate shipping amounts. Now, I see a lot of listings, and it throws me as a seller when I'm having to research an item to choose what the price is going to be. I have to factor that in. I'm like, oh, they have it for sale for $5.99, but the shipping is $20. And I'm like, wait a second, that weighs 6 ounces. The shipping for that should be $4.75 or something, $5, $5.75. And so then I can price mine appropriately and pick appropriate shipping. And we have had comments. People have specifically given us feedback and comments in praise of just like fast, fair, of appropriately priced shipping. So I think if there's two choices, I think sometimes people will pick you if you're just upfront, like, this is how much I'd like to sell the item for, and this is how much the shipping is going to cost. And we're not trying to make money off of shipping, but we do need to cover our costs on the shipping. So
exactly. I hate it when they
understand it.
I hate it when they jack up the shipping like that on some of those listings. It's like, just put it to the price. Come on.
Yeah. Now, conversely, we've had some people complain about if something is big and it is bulky and it's over that 12 by 12 by 12 size and it weighs 8 pounds, 10 pounds, like,
really?
I'm sorry, it really does depend where you are in the United States. So just handle those questions or those comments with as much professionalism as you can, as you can manage, because it really isn't your fault. You don't need to feel like you've done anything wrong. You can double check to make sure that you haven't made a mistake in the, you've keyed in something incorrectly. But I've had a couple times where I just message people back and I say, I'm sorry, the product itself is 17 inches wide and it's coming in at 17. This is calculated shipping. You live on the other side of the United States. It's going to cost $25. Sorry.
That's right. Got to pay the fees. You're not going to make everybody happy. We've just come to agree that we're not going to make everybody happy. Jen does an amazing job at the customer service side of it, though, and the way that she responds to people. Okay, so are you ready for, just on that note, I was interested in this because I saw it earlier when I was researching this episode. You want to hear some stats that are just going to make you cringe on our sales?
Oh, no. So discouraging. Okay. Go ahead.
So I'm just going to give you this one because I know the other one will be disheartening, and I don't want it to be disheartening. It's already disheartening for me. For shipping labels, they have accounted for 43% of our selling cost. So shipping alone has accounted for 43% of our selling cost. Golly, that's not even including the eBay fees. But no wonder why we're not making very much. And I don't want to be disheartened by that because we are still making a ton of money. We're going to go over some of those numbers after Jen's number 6 when we give the Tupperware update. So, Jen, why don't you go ahead and give us your number 6 that you have going on?
Sure. So I work from home, and I'm thinking that probably a lot of people are doing this as a side hustle. Maybe they're at home caring for children and they're trying to sell on eBay or some other scenario where you are at home. And I wanted everybody to realize you don't have to go to the post office physically yourself.
Wow.
You can be you should be really nice to your postal service worker. You should become friends with them. The person that comes to your house every day to bring your mail, you should be cousin them. You should be doing something nice for them at Christmas. You should be blessing them throughout the year. We've given ours. So that's not the tip, but you can do like a little gift card. I don't think they're supposed to accept anything that's like there's probably like a threshold that they're supposed to abide by, but you can buy them like a hamburger. I've given them like flowers before.
Just use your own judgment. Give them something nice during Christmas time. Come on.
You're not trying to bribe them, but you're just trying to bless them. And so think through with your own, like, is this a bribe or is this blessing? And bless them because they are in some terrible weather.
Nobody that listens to us is bribing anybody on the podcast. Anybody in the United States Postal Service. Okay.
I'm sure that there are some rules. So make sure that you like keeping it just, a small blessing is nice.
We got it.
You don't have to go
Be spring the beat. Don't bribe your caseworker.
Become friends with the person who is delivering your mail every day. Or if you live in an area, anybody can schedule a pickup for a package. So all you do is go out to the USPS's website. You can schedule them to come. You don't need to make a special trip to the post office because what that does is it's using your time, it's using your gas, and it's unnecessary. If I have more than 2 packages, I go to the post office because usually I'm mailing more than a few things at a time. But there are times where I'm at home and I think like the phone, that box that we sold, $3.70 on that. I am not going to the post office, special trip, even though it's very close, and diminishing my profits further when I know that my wonderful mail lady is coming in the 3:00 p.m. hour every day. She can take that one back with her. And you don't have to be nervous. They have a scanning gun with them for where they're delivering packages. Your package will get instantly scanned into the tracking system. It's not going to go missing. Nothing bad's going to happen to it. Send it with them. They're already there, and save yourself the trip. Especially as the holidays are coming. The holidays are really busy at the post office. So you can save yourself some time and some sanity.
I don't mind going to the post office, to be honest with you. But I get where you get coming from. Some people live quite far away from their post offices. All right.
Now, hold on. A secondary tip to that: if you do in fact live close to your post office and you only have like 1 or 2 small little packages that need to go, you could consider combining that with a little bit of physical activity for the day. So there are many times that
get your steps in.
It's 18 minutes each direction to walk to our post office, our closest one. And so I can get a 40-minute walk, and it just gets me out. If the weather's nice, sometimes I'll just walk it, and I will combine it with my exercise. So that's a sub tip to the...
Perfect. Great advice. All right. So those are our 6 tips if you're a beginning reseller, or even if you're a veteran reseller and you haven't thought about any of those yet. They're great ideas. And as always, if you have your own ideas, feel free to drop them in the comments below, or go over to Instagram. Is probably one of the ones that's taken off for us. And we are on X. So that's the old Twitter, Elon's new app that are kind of taking off on that one too. It's kind of nice. But anyway, it's at Pickers Podcast and either one of this. So this part of the episode is a Tupperware update. You all have been following us on our Tupperware journey. So we like to give this part and just let you know where we're at, how it's going. So for overall sales in eBay, I kind of like this number a lot. In our average sale, and this isn't just for Tupperware, this is an average sale on our eBay store. Kind of nerding out on the eBay store stats, but we're averaging $35.59 per sale on our eBay store, which is kind of cool.
That's fun.
I like that. And now for the Tupperware update. As you all know, or if you're new to listening to our show, we picked up storage unit full of Tupperware. So 500 pieces of Tupperware for $1,000. Cost us $900 to go down there and get it down in LA and come back with it. So right now we are sitting at $1,900 on a cost, and we have made $376.96, which is very impressive. That's net. That's net cost after all the fees and everything else that's going into it. And so that breaks it down to, we still have $1,523.04 to go before we break even on this Tupperware journey. So we've sold 28 listings. We have an average profit of $13.46 per sale. So we just started selling Tupperware. We've only sold 28 listings. We're averaging $13.50 on profit. It is going to take us no time to break that $1,900.
And I really feel like this is the quarter of the year where people are starting to buy more, especially this type of thing. You got Thanksgiving coming, you got Christmas coming, you got holiday parties and hostessing. I think we're primed for really good sales, and I think I've streamlined some of the listing now, so I'm getting the hang of it. I'm starting to learn a lot more than I ever thought I would know about Tupperware as a subject. And so we have actually items that are Christmas in theme or decoration. And so I'm predicting that this is going to really start to take off over the next 2 months. I'm feeling really good about things, and I think it'll be no time before we have that money recouped, and then we're into the pure profit.
Absolutely, we
are party that day.
Have a Tupperware party, so we need to have a Tupperware party. Okay, sounds good. So far, starting up at our store, we have we have reached, or we have been listed in 680,000 different times times has had the opportunity to click on our link. So they've seen our link to our store on one of our products. Can you believe that?
Almost
700,000 times somebody has had the opportunity to click on one of our links. Now clicking on one of our links and going over to a sales conversion rate, it's a little bit lower. It's dropping a little bit, but we're at 2%, which is not bad for the 30-day rolling average. I like those numbers.
We have a lot of watchers. We got a lot of watchers and a lot of Tupperware right at the moment. So
a lot of people are clicking on their stuff. They're just not buying. So commit.
Yeah, pull the
trigger. All right, everyone. All right, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in, and as always, feel free to leave a comment below at Pickers Podcast. Oh, I forgot about trivia. It's because I suck at trivia and I don't want to do trivia. But
I'm sorry. It's your turn.
Right.
I wrote trivia just for you.
All right, Jen's got trivia this week. I'm horrible at trivia, so let's go ahead. Let's get it over with. What do you got?
I think if you really use your noodle, that you might do really well this week.
All right.
Because
I'll try hard.
Easy. Okay, try hard. I thought I would start you with an easy one. True or false, Mike? True or false? No matter how remote, the USPS must deliver to every U.S. address.
True. Oh, it's absolutely true.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely, 100%.
It is required by the it's required by the Universal Service Obligation Law that governs their operations. As a result, the USPS delivers over 153 million addresses nationwide, including those in the most remote and difficult to reach places. So no matter where you are, you can buy our Tupperware. We'll ship it to you.
Nice.
And then we'll bring it to you. I know, isn't that neat? I know that's kind of nerdy and cool. All right, here's number 2.
All right, what do you got?
The very first postal stamp ever created in 1847 featured which notable figure? A.
Abraham Lincoln. Oh, it's multiple choice?
It's multiple choice.
Okay.
Okay. A. Benjamin Franklin. B. Abraham Lincoln. Or C. George Washington.
Abraham Lincoln. No, it's George Washington.
It's Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, really?
He was on the first 1847. That was probably a hint. It would have helped you pick better the date, but that's okay. We'll go on to the next one. We still have one more chance. Which location is the home to the original United States Post Office?
Oh, this is fascinating to me. I have no idea, but it's fascinating to me. Is it multiple choice?
It is. A, an Irish pub in New York City. B, a library in Virginia. Or C, a tavern in Boston.
Oh. Man, common sense would make me think it was a library, postage library, right? But us Americans, we really like to drink, so I wouldn't think it's one of the pubs. So I'm going to go with A.
Oh, you were so close. You were on the right track. It was a tavern in Boston. And actually, it was Benjamin Franklin's. Like, he was the first person to do it in the tavern in Boston. That's why they put his face on the first stamp.
Oh, fascinating.
I know, right?
That would be cool trivia. I like it.
I thought it was kind of fun.
All right, Jen, thanks for the trivia. It made it less frightening for me, didn't hurt as much.
I'm glad.
I still failed, though. I know.
All right, fellow pickers, go find your treasure one story at a time.
And remember, it isn't reselling. You're not putting a stamp on it.